क्या हो गया?
Very nice experience.
Fitness workation
Fitness.
and workation.
We have मतलब हमारे पास में UbEx में हमारे पास में योगा के साथ साथ में एक्सरसाइज इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स भी है,
सब कुछ है.
सब कुछ है.
So हमारे साथ we have Manju from Chennai.
मंजू.
So I wanted to talk to Manju about her. Let's sit. So Manju is a traveler traveling since last 4 years, but the way she travels is different. You guys must have heard about couch surfing. आप लोगों ने couch surfing के बारे में सुना होगा. तो मंजू जो है पिछले 2 साल से couch surfing कर रही है and कल couch surfing के थ्रू ही वो UbEx में आई and she stayed here for 2 nights. तो I just wanted to talk to her and get an idea कि ये travel कैसे करते हैं and she can give us some tips about couch surfing also. So yes Manju, tell
Hi.
us.
So in terms of couch surfing, I'm using it I was there since 2012, but again I did not use it much. But when I went to Northeast for the first time, I was skeptical about traveling solo. That's when I started using couch surfing, and I met 4 travelers who I went with for Meghalaya. And one of the travelers, she had got a host in Shillong, and the first host was this person called Manish from Shillong. So we stayed with him, and after that I slowly started using couch surfing, and I really felt very good. And my first host was Sudeep from Gokarna. So I was staying there for 15 days, but I could not spend so much time with him because he was quite a busy entrepreneur. And after that, slowly I moved to the other experience was in Alleppey. I stayed with this person called Jay. So he was really nice. He had a lot of experience, and I got to know some tips about couch surfing from him. And also so I started using it for my subsequent trips as well. So my best experience was in Dehradun, where I stayed with host Ashutosh and his sisters. So they were actually, I stayed there for around 3 or 4 nights, and they gave me food and everything. We also exchanged our travel stories and the local cultures that we
So
follow.
just wanted to know, how does this work? How do you use couch surfing? So if you can just give us an idea कि couch surfing है क्या, और यहाँ पे किस तरह से you find host, कितने दिन के लिए you can stay, and उसके बदले में do you have to do something? If you can give us little bit of idea of couch surfing.
Yeah, sure. So we have this app called Couch Surfing. So it is available both in desktop version as couchsurfing.com, and we have an app through which you actually enter all your profile details, and if you want a host also, you can give the type of hosting that you can do, whether you will give a shared room or a private room or a shared sleeping surface, or and also the location about the public transit that's available, because most of the couch surfers are backpackers only. So you give all the information about your couch also. In fact, there is a thing called couch photos, so wherein you can upload the room and your house and all the details in that album. So this is how you update your information. And also there is a option called request to stay, wherein you can give for the request for how many days. You can select the dates and everything, and if it is flexible also, there is an option where you check you have a checkbox called flexible. So you can select that for dates flexibility. And so mostly you can go by the references that is there for each person. So ideally I've seen hosts between around 300 to 500 references and all. So
Wow.
they are really good, and each city in fact has an ambassador also.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
So for how many days can you, minimum number of days you can stay at a host with a host?
Yeah, so it really depends on the host. Anything between 1 to 3 days is considered okay on couch surfing, and it is also not to be taken as an advantage of just getting a free place to stay and all. So you might have to interact with the with your host, so that they will also help you see around the local places. So what is not there in Google Maps, you can definitely see with the help of a host. So that will really help. And apart from that, I think Yeah, if they are flexible, there are, I've seen hosts who have hosted people like 15 days and over a month also. I myself had the first experience wherein I stayed for 15 nights in Gokarna. So that was a really good experience for me. So yeah,
Do
but
you also get food, or like do you help them in cooking or some work? Is there an exchange of some work also, or it is just like purely somebody just hosting you and you just go there and live with them?
okay, it really depends on the host. So if they want us to, most hosts sometime if you're staying more than 3 days, so they will require you to volunteer also, which I think it makes sense because it is not, you learn something new when you're traveling. So that is the best part of travel actually. So yeah, sometimes we exchange, but it depends on the host. But it is not just a free stay. If you're not working, you exchange your cultures, you share your travel stories. There might be places they suggest to see, and you can also tell them what they have not explored. So sometimes it becomes that we stay in the city, but I mean in the same place, but we would not have known the destination. Like travelers help, help the host also to know
Explore
some
their
places.
own place.
Yeah.
So you are a solo girl traveler. So मेरे साथ ऐसे बहुत बार होता है कि बहुत सारे लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि यू आर अ गाय, आप तो लड़के हो, आप सोलो ट्रैवल कर सकते हो, इट्स ईजी फॉर अ गाय, बट आई सी दैट यू आर ट्रैवलिंग सोलो एंड यू आर अ गर्ल. सो गर्ल्स हैव दिस क्वेश्चन कि हम लड़कियों के लिए इज़ इट सेफ टू ट्रैवल सोलो. सो ग्लैड दैट आई मेट यू, ताकि तुम मुझे बता पाओ और बाकी लोगों को भी बता पाओ कि इज़ इट सेफ to travel on through couch surfing, or is it safe as a Indian girl to travel solo in India, and if there are anything that you need to take care of, any safety measures ऐसा कुछ है, और या फिर आपका experience अगर आप बता पाओ तो that would be nice.
So I think coming from this society, we do have our own social constraints that women can't travel solo and all that. And so the main thing I learned is like initially I started going to backpackers hostels. So that is like it is a quite safe environment, and you can also meet other travelers who become your friends. So you will get there is a chance of you to get a company also to explore the places. So that way it is pretty safe. And the other thing on couch surfing, I have had my share of good and bad experiences as well. So what I learned to do after my negative experiences was that I met my host, whoever it was. So I met them once before I went and stayed with at their place. So that really helped me a lot.
What do you mean you met them? So you went out for a
Yeah.
coffee or just hang out with them before actually going to their place?
Yes, so there were a couple of times where I hanged out, like we just met at a cafe for chai or something, and after that, if I interacted with them to find that they are safe and all, if they are safe. So I went. Even yesterday, I met one other person actually. So I did not initially itself. I did not get I had a creepy vibe on that person, but. So what I decided was that I will meet him first. And it was like my intuition was so right that he ended up being creepy. So like he was like, when are you coming, and all. So I mean, like he was desperate for me to come, ideally because I think he was not experienced or something. So that was a thing. But yeah, so after that I don't know if he realized that I found him I guessed something. So after that, he also didn't reach me at all.
Okay.
So that was one. So that's what you just go by your gut, whatever As a woman, I think most of us, we do have our own intuitions and all. So it is always good to go by that, and also don't judge immediately. Take your time, like ideally try to meet them in any public places where there's a lot of crowd, so that if there's something that is bothering, you will have people around to help also. And one other thing is like I always have my pepper spray handy. So that is another tip I follow. And also try to have the local police contact number, like the local police station's phone number or some inspector or someone's number. Try to get the contact, and just have it on your phone, and always try to interact with the shopkeepers. So they are the best, it is one of the safest ways to know places and explore it also.
Yeah, because I understand being a girl, you are going to stay with a complete stranger in his house. So it could be there could be a possibility. So it's always better to have some safety measures like having a spray or the number of a police or just knowing people around. That could be helpful. But are there any ways to which couch surfers or couch surfing as a website also offers some safety guidelines or measures? For example, if you get into a situation and you need help, can you approach couch surfing also, the website?
Yeah. So if we are in emergency, we can obviously reach out to the Couchsurfing website. But immediately it is not possible because it is a website and it's just like customer service. They take their own time. But again, like there are ambassadors for each state and the respective cities also. So when I had one of bad experience.
So what do these ambassadors do?
Okay, so the ambassadors are ideally more experienced people in couchsurfing. They help you to find any host, or they also suggest place. It is just a normal like any other host, but again they have some more experience in couchsurfing. So if you're in any emergency, they will really help you to get any alternate host or something. So I faced one of the situations similarly. Then I pinged one of the ambassadors, and he actually within the next 5 to 10 minutes he got me another host.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that
It's
was it. So they help in emergency, especially when you're when you're a solo woman traveler. It really helps.
So, in all, would you recommend Indian solo travelers to travel solo and use couch surfing? Like, how safe do you like? What would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely tell you to go ahead and use it, and it really empowers you being traveling alone. I think any woman should at least travel once solo in their lifetime.
Why?
Because it gives you a lot of courage. You learn a new things. So like initially I was a very different person. I was a very comfortable person, like I always stayed in luxury hotels and things like that. I was very touristy, but later I started backpacking. I started making my own food while I was traveling, because when I was traveling, I knew that I was not very fit enough, like for travel. Like if I have to see places, I have to have that energy and that drive and everything. So when you take care of your health, it also helps you travel a lot and go to even more unexplored places. So that really helps. So that is something I learned very recently in the past 2 years, and I've been trying to implement that also.
So, would you say this kind of travel is different from the mainstream travel that normally people do in India or abroad? So they just go to a place, they live in a hotel, and then they explore the nearby places, and then they go back home. So obviously it's completely different. I can see the lifestyle is different because you are actually staying with the locals, getting the experience. Because when you go to a hotel, you just stay with you or with your friends or your family, but you don't really get to interact with the locals. So I think this is a nice way to explore the place and the culture very closely by interacting with locals, right?
Yeah, totally. So it really helps, and you should always try to go with the locals. Don't rush into places actually. So that is what I would suggest. Take your time and get to know. There are a lot of places that we don't even know. It is not on Google Maps. So even today I happened to, because of Raghu only, I happened to go to another beach called Mean Beach over here, and it was really I've been to Rishikesh almost twice, and this is my third time, but I never knew of that place earlier.
So how I manage to explore places is, this is what I do. Normally I don't go to the must visit places, because at must visit places there are already so many people, because it is a must visit place, right? So people will be there. So what I do is I just open the map and आसपास में I just zoom in, and then I आसपास में कौन सी जगह है, and I prefer natural places more than cafes and all this man-made places. I try to go to the natural places because normally वहाँ पे या तो बहुत ही कम लोग होंगे और वहाँ पे कोई और होगा भी नहीं, and the experience that you get to explore, that is different. So that's how I choose the places to travel. Just go on the map and just zoom in, zoom out, and find a place where you would like to go and sit. So that's how I found out about Neem Beach. And there are other people on Instagram also. They given me some recommendations. तो उसके बाद में I just checked. So yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Nothing else. Just keep traveling. Enjoy every bit of life. So it actually I feel that it keeps you alive and at the moment. So that is the best part of travel. So keep traveling and thank you, Raghu, for this opportunity.
One more question. So you are also a working traveler, like you are working. So how do you manage your work? Because a lot of people who have their work, they won't be able to travel like this. So how do you manage?
Okay, so one advantage for me was that it is a complete remote job that I am in, and the other thing is that I have a shift, afternoon shift. So mornings I have around 5 hours, and I take that whatever I'm able to explore in that 5 hours, I take that time and I explore. And after that I get back to my work. So that is how I manage. And weekdays I follow this system, and on weekends I'm completely free because I have off on both Saturday and Sunday. So the complete day is for me to go out and explore.
Super. So would you like to give your social media handle so that if anybody has any question, they can get in touch with you if you're comfortable?
Sure. So you can follow me on Instagram at Vaiduriam. So it is BAIDUURYAM.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you. So guys, this is how when you're traveling you get to meet different kind of people who are living life differently and showing us to live a life which we don't really know. So they introduce us about this subject called life, and they show you a new chapter every time. So that is the reason I travel, because I just don't want to explore places. I also want to meet new people and find out more ways to live a single life.